the critical thing about critical race theory is that once you hold to that framework, it changes and affects how you view yourself, and it changes how you view others in relationship.
If you believe in the tenets of critical race theory, how would that change the story that you would tell about your experience as a Black person?
Everything is racist. I think that would be my first thing, is that it's not, like Robin DiAngelo says, it's not a matter of if racism's happening, it's how it's happening, because racism is always happening. Kendi holds a view very similar, that it's not about, not being racist. It's about actually being anti-racist, because we're either being racist or we're being anti-racist. So I think for me, that's one. I'm always looking through this lens that of racism. I'm always looking and knowing that it's happening. So now I don't need any data. I don't need to ask any questions and say, well, hey, did you mean to let the door slam on me? No, it was definitely a microaggression, because I know that everything is racist. Because one of the first tenet in this book anyway is that racism is endemic. It's everywhere. So that would be one way in which CRT could color a person's perspective. What do you say, Kevin?
Yeah, absolutely. The critical thing about critical race theory is that once you hold to that framework, it changes and affects how you view yourself, and it changes how you view others in relationship. The whole, oppressor and oppressed. And so once you develop that framework, it colors how you see yourself and others and the interaction you have with others. And as Monique said, everything becomes racist. It becomes the explanation for everything that happens. And so something could happen. Somebody could be having a bad day and be short with you. And in your lens, it is because you're Black, they were rude to you. And it colors your entire experience when you start to view the world through a lens of race. Or I'll give an example, church leadership. People start talking about power structures, right? And so because the church leadership isn't diverse, or you don't feel that there's some representation of you and your group within the leadership, then you start talking about equity and power structures, right? The decisions made by the church become to benefit whiteness and protect their white privilege. And all of these types of things start to come out once you adopt that lens. You start to see things through a lens of color, race, and power structures. And so if somebody is using that language a lot of times, there's probably a chance they were influenced by critical race theory, because the average person on the street isn't talking about power structures. They're not using language like that. But yeah, that is kind of how I've seen critical race theory paint people of color's experiences in a light that if they weren't looking at it through that lens, they probably wouldn't have interpreted that interaction or that situation in that way.